Good day, ladies and gentlemen. And this is one of the reasons why I'm really excited about this game. Outside of only having a goddamn grenade launcher that's utterly useless. Hey, we don't have to fight the fucking berserker rye bread monster cretins. And I'm gonna die? No, I'm not. But, yes, being able to fight on a strong freighter is really cool, and I just got blasted by that bastard. But I can tell you this, I don't care. Because at least I actually have goddamn ammo. That's actually more important than just regular ammo. Wow, that was critical mission failure. This is not off to the greatest of start. You know, I might actually use the grenade launcher. It might actually be useful for something, finally. Except I keep missing, because of course I do. Now, if I could just, like, drink his blood to gain his health, but that's probably not gonna happen. Redirect to Strong Moon. See, this is like, it's like, you know, you got Quake 2, but it's like a whole new campaign, and it's really quite cool. This is really well made. I just would like to not get motion sickness when I play it. And I'd like to be able to get out of this goddamn room. Okay, what we'll do is, we'll try to use the Gatling gun on him, and miss, like, half the shots. Okay, we got him, finally. And this doesn't have that much artificial gravity, it seems. Alright, let's save. Charge in here and immediately get shot. I was gonna hopefully charge past him, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And I'll get shot by his buddy, so I need to actually stay in some degree of cover and shoot him. I get cut. And ooh, his reflexes are better than mine, it would seem. This is only on normal. This is just normal difficulty, and it's legitimately difficult. But it's a fun type of difficult. This is a lot more fun, for me at least, than not having the weapons to do anything with. See, this doesn't piss me off. See, I'm very weird like that. Not all difficulty is equal. Shit. Because I had to hit him just right. You know, this looks like I'm sucking more than I really am. Because I can only take one hit. Ooh, got him. Okay, let's just save right there. And I almost saved by accident. And get him! And get him, finally! You know, that was more satisfying than aggravating. And of course there's some health right there, and of course already under attack. And there's some more health over there. Sweet. And jump! And immediately get perforated like an idiot. But in the previous episode, and of course I fall and immediately get... I need to... Wait a minute, I bet I can just jump. I swear I was hitting the jump button. I swear I was. I was doing it again. And jump! Haha! At least that's not one of those fucking berserkers. I just hate those guys so much. And jump over there. And of course the level architecture is very, very ambitious for the N64 though. I think with PC controls this would be even better. Oh, don't let me get blown up! And we're down to like 30 frames per second because all of the explosions. Still though, the fact that we're getting 60 when we do in an N64 game is quite remarkable. There, finally. And it looks like I can't hit... Oh, don't tell me I'm down to just this. Of course I am. Oh, I guess I spoke too soon. Come on. And shoot him! Hopefully... And it blew him up. Sweet. I'm back down to 2 goddamn health. That's off to a great start here. But at least there's the Hyper Blaster. My favorite weapon in all of Quake 2. I hope it's not like behind some kind of... No, it's not. Sweet. They really got ambitious with this. The N64 did have the power to do that. Now then, moving on from dying every 2 seconds. Spoke too soon. Okay, well, I barely banged my head on that and dead. Okay, for once this grenade launcher is going to actually be good for something. Try to blow them up just a little bit. I thought it was going to get a little easier, but evidently not. Yeah, they're just going to keep blowing me. They're just going to keep shooting me as soon as I stick my head up there. There's just not enough time to look everywhere at once. Okay, I'll use the Hyper Blaster. That should give me a chance. least a fighting chance. Okay, I don't know what he was doing there. Look, so, God damn it! I am just dying every 5 feet. Okay, what we got to do is we got to try to charge and get some health. And I don't think there's actually any in there. And the invincibility cheat doesn't work. Okay, this is going to be a war of attrition. Of where I'm going to just keep dying every couple of seconds. Because they have just enough offensive ability to really kill me just as soon as I see them. Like that. And it's where you gotta get lucky. You gotta get lucky. It also doesn't help that I'm playing this with a headache, but that doesn't really count. Shit! Oh, am I gonna get him? No, I'm gonna get see, I need to kill both of those guys because they can attack faster. The two basics, they can attack faster than the enforcer there. Because the enforcer's gonna... Oh, I got him! Oh, come on, come on, come on. Shit! Oh, I wanna just brain my head on there and that's gonna kill me. See, they might be weak, but they do have a quick attack, so... Okay, got... Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, he's dead. If I could have just avoided those. I don't think I'm gonna get it this time. Yeah, I am! Aha! If I could actually aim, I'd be a little better off, but unfortunately I can't. Shit! I need just a little more health. Okay, he's gone. And he's gonna hit me before I can get to cover. Oh well. Shit! I'd love to know how many times I've died just in this video alone. Okay, now... I came so close. So close! Okay, yeah, and of course gonna brain myself trying to get to cover. And got shot almost immediately. Got shot immediately. And got shot immediately. Well, I didn't get shot immediately. I got caught on his body as he... Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! No! This is gonna be... Nah, I was gonna say it's gonna be close, but he started shitting out the grenades. Okay, now, get down there. Aha! I don't think that's artificial challenge. That is legit challenge. It was so much easier early on, though. So much easier. Now you gotta save every couple of feet. But talking about Stanley Kubrick, ladies and gentlemen, moving on from all that death, my favorite movie of his is actually Clockwork Orange, and one of the scenes that's always used without any context is Alex DeBarge screaming as he's shown violent images. That actually gets that common perception is actually entirely wrong. The only reason he's actually screaming is not because of the violent images. In fact, when he first starts getting shown them, he actually likes them. What he's actually screaming at is the fact that they're playing Beethoven over it, and he's afraid he will be conditioned to become violently ill if he hears the music, and he does. That's actually a plot point later in the movie. But the Clockwork Orange film is absolutely excellent. My favorite of all the Kubrick films. It has the trademark Kubrickiness, but it's much less dull than 2001 and a variety of other films he's done. Surprisingly enough, Stanley Kubrick actually did the film Spartacus, the original film, not the TV show. And Spartacus is actually a pretty good movie. It is definitely not something you would expect him to do. And it's actually one of my favorite sword and sandal films all around. One of the problems I have with Stanley Kubrick is I think his reputation as an arty director is not necessarily the best reputation to have. The big problem with artistic stuff is these days, and hell, even back then, art is often, so long as it's boring, dull, or otherwise mysterious, people give it some sort of legendary status that I don't think is really deserved. The reason I say that is, you could say that Kubrick is a bit of a dull director, or I could say that at the very least. And he gets away with the dullness simply because instead of saying it's a dull film, it's an art film. And like, if you don't think it's amazing, you just didn't get it. Which I think is really quite idiotic. It's kind of like saying that, I keep coming up with different movie titles, but it's not the one I'm looking for. Ah, there it is. Of course, God damn it. The film I'm thinking of, the film that comes immediately to mind, is Plan 9 from Outer Space. If somebody had said that movie was artistic, it would not be labeled the worst movie ever made. You know, if someone said, well, it is just an artistic expression. Ed Wood was trying to create a film that showed the farcical nature of humanity or something, and I guarantee you, people will be like, it's the most artistic film ever, man. I actually asked somebody who was contemporary with 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the answer I got for the reason why people liked it was simply because it was a good movie to take a date to. And you know what? I buy that. I buy that for more than $1. Because a lot of those early protests, those Vietnam War era protests, were done primarily because you could pick up chicks there. I'm not even joking. That is something that I've seen repeated in a wide variety of historical texts. You know, it could be wrong, but knowing humanity, I honestly figure that that is probably one of the reasons why it got so popular. All those, you know, hippie chicks went to there, and, well, that's a good place to pick up chicks. And some of these anti-gun protests, they've actually... Let me put it this way. Whenever you see some of these protests, you should listen to some of the interviews that are given. Half the time, these people don't even have a clue of why they're actually protesting. And it's really quite amusing to hear them try to come up with reasons why they're actually there. That's not to say that protests are bad, it's just when you're doing something and you don't even know why you're doing it, is that really helping anything? Or are you just there to pick up chicks? At least be honest about it. But that's one of the more amusing things about art, though. It's like, when it comes... And I like how I can just immediately get access by just pushing in on a keyboard. That's it. That's it. That's great operational security there, Strog. I mean, come on. All I have to do is just push a button. That's it. But then again, it could be said that the Strog don't have to really care, simply because they, ooh! It's blue! Sweet. Because I fucking love... I'm a big fan of the color blue, to be perfectly honest. Why? Because my astrological sign, ladies and gentlemen, is Pisces. Because that makes a difference. Ooh! Blew him up. But still, though, I love the color blue. That's always been one of my favorite colors since I was a kid. Alright, so... I don't think I'm going to take too much damage falling. I took none. Let's see. So you got Stanley Kubrick. You got this game, which now is finally good again. It has been made great again by the inclusion of the railgun. The railgun is a very excellent weapon, and it also gives me greater offensive firepower than a bloody grenade launcher, which is, as we all know, utterly bloody useless. And I probably should have got some cover there, but I didn't. I'll tell you though, even on normal, this is a really difficult game, but it's not as annoying as it could be. Another fucking tank. This time I will use my grenade launcher because I actually have some room to use it, and of course I immediately shoot a closed door. Why? Because I'm the greatest gamer that ever gamed it up. But speaking about the greatest gamer that ever gamed it up, the AVGN, for those who may not be aware, he's been AVGNing for over a decade now. Can you imagine that? I'm actually closing in on a decade myself. I'm not sure when the first video went up, because I've taken down most of those super early videos and re-edited them and things of that nature, so... But I do recall starting up in 2009 with the Alien arcade game review. And, you know, I still like that video. It definitely is very rough compared to the current stuff, but you know what? It wasn't as bad as it could have been. That's the way I see it. But the AVGN was the very first of the YouTube reviewers that I ever saw, and I don't think I even saw him on YouTube. I think yeah, I do remember. I saw him on Screw Attack. It's actually kind of funny how that worked. I discovered him in 2008, but I didn't really start watching him on a regular basis until later, until I think like 2009. No, no, I discovered him early in 2008, but I really didn't start watching him until late 2008. It's like early 2008, I was shown a couple of his videos, but I didn't really pick up on the whole YouTube reviewer thing until later that year. And it wouldn't be until 2009 that I actually start making some myself. Although, the actual, the very first video I ever did was, I think it was the first actual review, it doesn't exist anymore, sadly, was of a GBA flash cartridge. I was so enamored by flash cartridges back in the day, it's not even funny. And now, you know, just with the advent of tablets, they're so obsolete. But it's just kind of interesting to see that the AVGN has been able to maintain a consistent level of quality over the years. Because the AVGN is still pretty funny, although, as I've said before, he does definitely appear to be acting a bit more. His most recent video, as of this recording, was a review of Dirty Harry. Now, I will say the Spoony video of Dirty Harry was a lot better. Oh god, not these guys again. It was a lot better. But then again, I always preferred Spoony to the AVGN anyway. Although, as we can see, Spoony is now in a pit of despair that I don't think he's ever going to be able to climb out. And the AVGN is married with kids. The good kind versus the kind of the show. But what I think is the case about the AVGN when I say that he's acting more than just letting it occur naturally is, okay, you got Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry is not as bad of a game as it could be. And there's one scene that just I felt was kind of out of place. Yes, I'm actually analyzing a AVGN episode because I can. And the one scene I felt that was a little out of place was just a random loud screaming segment where, like, I don't even remember what he was screaming at, but he wasn't screaming at the ha-ha room. And it just seemed like you're trying way too hard to appear angry at that point. I think the AVGN would have been better suited to just stop trying to be, like, psychotically angry. Well, I thought he'd actually stop shooting. Like, I thought he would just, like, had only, like, a set level of shots he could make, but evidently he doesn't stop. This is a very nice level. Once again, would love to have PC controls. But I think the AVGN really needs to focus on less the psychotic anger and more just, you know, reviewing the game itself. Because when he actually stops being... I know he's the angry video game nerd, right? But when he actually stops being overly angry, it's actually a lot more funny and more enjoyable that way. This definitely needs a heavy dose of auto-aim. Because these controls... You know, at first, they're not that bad. You can get used to them, but I guess that's a big problem with just about any console shooter, is the controls never really feel that good, even like with something like the Xbox or anything like that. If you look at the controls for Halo 1, and if you play Halo 1 with a PC, a mouse and keyboard, it actually does feel a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to save right here so I don't have to keep running in here. It does feel a little bit better. And the way the level architecture is set up, it definitely would be more suited for PC controls, because actually looking up and shooting this guy is not that easy. Especially since these controls like to immediately recenter themselves. But I think I'm getting it. You need the red key. For what? Something is actually locked down. Okay, now I'm probably going to get hurt when I drop down. No, I didn't, because the gravity's low. Gravity. Now that's a shitty movie. I saw that in theaters. I do not know why people like that movie. I do not know why. I saw that, and it's like, you could tell the artistic symbolism coming from a mile away, and it's like, it seemed like they had like an artistic symbolism checklist that they were going down, because of course they had that or that birth-looking scene where I don't remember who was even in that movie. I do remember it annoyed the shit out of me. It's like, clearly, she has been given birth by space. Oh, yes. So artistic. It's like the most artistic thing I've ever seen, man. All I ever seem to do in these Let's Plays is complain, but, well, you know, that's the name of the game. Alright, and we should be just... This is a really good level architecture. It's just, it really impresses me. Alright, and I took a quick break because I had a massive headache, but it appears to have gone away. As I said earlier, love this level architecture. Still hate that bastard. But hopefully this time we won't die every 5 feet. Well, That's never a certainty, though. Especially when it comes to me playing a video game, that's for sure. And I think I'll go ahead and use this. I'll save my... and I'll miss terribly. Well, see, he's too close. The minimum engagement range, you know? Oh, it's gonna either blow me up or not. Shit! Well, you know what? It's still alive. Still alive. That's all that matters. Still alive. So this is a Strog, you know, merchant freighter. So, like, does that mean that the Strog have a merchant marine? It's like there's some crusty merchant captain on... The only time that ever worked was in a game with controls that are not the best. But yeah, it's like a Strog merchant, and I'm just spraying like you wouldn't believe. But it's like some sort of crusty merchant captain that's like a cyborg. That's the one problem with hive-minded aliens like the Strog here. There couldn't be a crusty merchant captain, and thus all that potential for characterization is lost. I'll tell you this though, when it comes to villains, I actually want to see more villains that actually can talk and interact with people. You know, one of the big problems with a lot of villains, especially... Holy crap, you think that's enough? You think that's enough troops to send out? You think that's enough? I mean, come on! Give us a chance, goddammit! Okay, so what do we got here? We got 4 plasma shots, 27 goddamn grenades. This is not going to end well. Okay, let him charge in. We will blast him to pieces. They all come out of here. This has a lot of enemies. Almost, I think there's probably more enemies here than the PC version. At least that's what it feels like. It's the feels. Doesn't have to be reals. Oh, crap. Well, at least I got him. And he gave me some bullets, too. Is it plus P's, I would hope? Well, this is a submachine gun, so theoretically that should work. Even those guys are tough to fight on occasion just because it is hard to hit them as accurately as... Those bloody dead shots, though. The dead shots, you know, you would think it'd be easy to avoid, but, you know, in this game and the initial Quake II, you know, that is not an easy prospect. But I still need to see Avengers Infinity War. I still need to see the second Avengers movie. But I think that, from what I've heard, they really did Thanos right. They gave him an actual character versus just a wahaha kind of villainous thing. The thing is, when it comes to villains, I'm just so sick of the traditional evil villain, you know? It's like, he's the bad guy, and therefore that's all his character is. I would really like to see a villain that might actually seem better than the good guy. I think that would be something kind of cool to see. When it comes to like science fiction villains, you generally have a grand total of 2 different types. You have like the implacable aliens, and then you get something like you know, then you get like a super evil villain guy. You know, like you would never want to even talk to him, much less look at him. And the big problem with that is there's no middle ground, and I like there to be some kind of middle ground. I like there to be not necessarily moral ambiguity either. What I'd like to see is a villain that could potentially turn somebody to their side. I'm reminded of it was an old episode of the Justice League animated series where Batman almost gets converted to the evil Batman's side. And it's only him realizing that, oh yeah, totalitarian dictatorships suck for the little guy, unless you're a member of, like, the inner party leadership, that, yeah, maybe that's a bad thing. But I like that. I like the idea of the hero potentially being corrupted by this villain. Now, you saw that in Star Wars, but I don't think that counts. It's pretty obvious in many instances that Emperor Saltine wasn't a good guy. But what if he actually legitimately had a point to what he was saying? Like, what if he actually could have been a potentially good guy? And the reason, and he really isn't. Everything really serves his power. He might as well just be goddamn Megatron. I think it would be really cool if, like, what if Palpatine was actually good in some respects? And you'll see stuff on the internet from utter psychos saying, the Empire was the good guys, man! Totalitarian forever! the reality is, you know, unless you were the inner party leadership, yeah, you're not living a good life in the Star Wars galaxy under the Empire. But I think it'd been cool, like, what if the Empire had been somewhat sane? You know, then you would have had all this, then you would have had actual legitimate moral ambiguity. The big problem with moral ambiguity in the modern era is you'll end up having stuff like, you have, like, the good guys every bit as bad as the villains. And then it's like, well, you know, is that really morally ambiguity, or is it just two bad sides? What I'd like to see are two good sides having to fight one another. You know, have, like, be the rebellion and the Empire be sort of like, you make the Empire as good as, say, the rebellion would be. Oh, at least didn't blow me up. As good as the rebellion would be, and then have the rebellion themselves be kind of like the Federation. Or potentially have, like, a realistic a government that's very realistic about things, and a government that is very idealistic. But don't have it so idealistic that it's really stupid either. Because then there always is that. There's always a problem with taking it a little too far. Now see, this is where I'm stuck with shit weapons again. I think if I could actually hit the target, I'm not even sure why I'm really even in here. We'll figure that out, because if they're not going to give me the tools I need to work with, I don't need to fully kill everything. Let's see, there's nothing, there appears to be nothing in here, so if we just jump down here and get shot in the back, okay, yeah, we don't even have to care. Okay, we'll charge down here, like so, and grab some cover, and all we gotta do is just hit that switch, like so. And that will give us a little area to go in here. But, you know, there's always this desire, especially these days, to, you know, really make villains and heroes and governments and things of that nature really stupid, where they make absolutely no sense. Now, see, if I had real weapons, I could I'm going to try to kill them all, because I hate running past. I know I did that in the last episode, but it just takes some of the fun out of it, for me at least. But I have nothing to fight them with! And no health either. Okay, what if we just die? No, we didn't die until right that point. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll jump down here, run in here, and see if there's actually any ammo for me to shoot back with. And there is. All I gotta do is run past. Now, I will sometimes run past in video games if I get really sick of having to deal with certain things. That's definitely something I ended up doing a lot in Dead Space 2, to be perfectly honest. Well, actually, no, I take that lie back. There's one part of Dead Space 2 that was quite aggravating. And, okay, that was my fault. I'm going to blame that entirely on me. Okay, what I'll do is I'll run in here, grab the rockets, and just run back out. But there's one part on the bridge of the Ishimura. I need to do Dead Space 2, because Dead Space 2 is a really good game. I still think it's not quite as good as Dead Space 1, but it definitely comes close. I do find it funny that when Dead Space 2 came out, there was a couple of reviewers that were saying it's the sequel slump. Which, okay, if that's the sequel slump, I can't imagine what they must have made of Dead Space 3. Remember Dead Space 3 when it came out? You know, now I did not get like a special advanced review copy of that, so I had to review my own a copy I bought. But the funny thing is, so many YouTubers did get special advanced review copies of that game. It's like, hey, I'm looking at Dead Space 3, despite them not being Dead Space fans. Dead Space 3 certainly was not an amazing game by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? It ended the series at the very least, and it ended on the lowest note possible, but you know what? Dead Space 3, despite not being as good as Dead Space 2 or 1, at least it didn't drop in quality so much to the point where it was actually a terrible game. Oh, and this is one of the reasons why I absolutely love this N64 port. I like that. That's cool. I know it's so simple, but it works so well. Alright, I am GeneralLotz, wishing you good Dead Space 2, good Dead Space 3, whatever makes you happy.